What is the good word? Welcome to the Higher Call, the Christian sports fan podcast. I'm your host, Dan Satterfield. God is good all the time, my friends. Go Lake Nona Lions, go Seas, go Bees, go Pats, go Sox, who are on a winning streak. We see you, Red Sox, and go Cougs. Throwing it over the wall to my co-host, Martin. How are you, sir?
Hey, what's good, man? Doing well, doing well. I was a little lost on Wednesday with no World Cup. I really didn't know what to do, but we got Summer League. We got Summer League.
Yeah, it's, for a while there with the group stage, it was like the NCAA tournament. I love it. Just
Yeah.
back to back to back sports all day. It was going till they were playing games in Vancouver. It was going till 2 a.m. Florida time. And yeah, it was so great. So yeah, we only have 5 games left in the World Cup. So yeah, but they should be good. So man, there's been some bangers. There's been some crazy games. So we'll get into that in our last segment. But yeah, it's good to hear. It's been a great World Cup. So hit the subscribe and/or like button, folks, on whatever platform you're listening to, whether it's YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. There's a lot of them. Leave us a comment and review also. That would be awesome. And also, I'd like to tell you about our email, highercallpod@gmail.com. So just like the podcast spelling, higher call pod, P-O-D, at gmail.com. And we also have some co-hosting opportunities coming up. Martin's a busy man, and so I'm looking for a couple of guest co-hosts. So if you are interested in doing that, just go ahead and reach out, and we can set you up and let you know what that entails. All right, so welcome to the Higher Call, the podcast where faith and fandom meet. We're just regular guys who love God, love sports, and love talking about both. Each week we dive into the biggest stories from the NFL, NBA, NCAA football, and NCAA basketball while exploring what they can teach us about faith, character, leadership, perseverance, and living as Christians in today's world. So we're going to hop right into NBA Summer League. All right.
Yeah.
So first of all, Martin, let me get your take on this. Why should people care about the NBA Summer League? Why should people watch it?
Oh man, I think it gives you a preview of some of these young stars that are coming out of college. It kind of gets you. It gets me pumped. I think you kind of see. The just the kind of the future of the NBA and how the NBA is changing. And I mean, we've seen it where 2-3 years people make a big impact. So yeah, so if your team drafted and they expect these players to produce right off the bat, right? There's no sitting on the bench for a few years. They want them to come in and start producing right away. So I think it's important to watch your team and see what the future holds there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've seen also, college fans are really interested in this. And we talked about it a little bit last week, but, there are 8 Houston Cougars playing in the Summer League this summer. Now, 4 of those are kind of G League, right? Kind of back and forth. And so you have some of that mixed in. But the other 4 that we talked about last week are actual, if not draft picks, right there to being drafted. And so it's really great for college fans to be able to watch that. We'll go into that a little bit later. I was doing a little bit of research about Summer League, just kind of trying to understand like what's important, what's not. What can transfer if someone's doing well in Summer League, if someone's doing badly in Summer League. What does that actually mean? And some of the things don't matter. One of the things that doesn't matter, especially for the rookies, the ones that were playing college basketball just a couple months ago, is field goal percentage, specifically 3-point percentage. If someone's shooting badly in Summer League, that really doesn't mean anything. And I'll give you an example. Steph Curry played horrible in his first Summer League. Couldn't hit a 3-pointer to save his life. Steph Curry, like the greatest shooter ever. So that's really the prime example there. The players, especially the rookies, are still getting used to the NBA 3-point line. They're still getting used to being in a game and shooting from there. And so shooting really is kind of, and even scoring is kind of the number one kind of unimportant stat if you look at the history of summer league. What does transfer over is defensive stats. So if you look at things like people are getting blocks, they're getting 3-4 blocks a game. Steals, same thing, getting 4 or 5 steals a game. These are things that can translate anywhere, and it shows that the player is committed to defense, and that's a really important thing in today's NBA. It's a lot more important than it was about 5 years ago. The other one is another hustle stat: rebounds, right? Where if they're getting offensive rebounds, if they're getting defensive rebounds, this is good. Rebounding is rebounding anywhere. It shows that they know the space, they know where to go on the floor to get rebounds and to kind of put themselves in a maximum rebounding position. The other one, specifically to point guards, but it can apply to other guards too, is the assist to turnovers. If you're getting a lot of assists in summer league, that can mean that you are a good distributor, you're a good point guard, and you're able to distribute the ball, and just as importantly, not turn the ball over constantly. If you're doing that, you're going to get out of the NBA pretty fast. And so that's kind of some of the things that I've been researching. I did want to kick it over to you. Have you been watching the Lakers any? What are your thoughts so far on them?
I really haven't. I've been kind of following the top picks. I think AJ is definitely the real deal. I think his length is definitely, and his aggressiveness is definitely definitely going to be a big deal. Obviously the big factor is his mindset and his attitude and how he's going to lead others, right? So yeah, and he plays for the Wizards, right? So that's that's not a really good thing, but the East is wide open, right? So but no, I saw the Boozer and Wilson game, the Bulls and them play the other day. And that looked really good. So just looking at the stars, right? The future stars and stuff. So that's been really fun. But no Lakers. I'm kind of trying to see what they're gonna do. I obviously don't have super high hopes, but we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm glad you brought up AJ Debonsa. So I got to watch him several times. He was in the Big 12 last year. He was at BYU. Houston the last 2 years has gone into the Marriott Center and played BYU. That is a tough place to play. AJ Debonsa, especially with some of the injuries with BYU, he was kind of all by himself towards the end of the year. February, March, he was the guy. And you're right, his length and the way he handles the ball and just kind of his flow, right? He's, I'm not trying to make the comparison, right? But he's kind of got that Kobe flow going, where he's a little bit taller. He's a little bit taller than Kobe, but his game kind of is modeled kind of the same way. Little Tracy McGrady, just kind of very flowy. Yeah. Where it's kind of like playing an instrument, right? Like no unintentional movements, and he's tall. He's taller than both McGrady and Kobe were, and so I think he's going to be really good. I think he's shown that he's definitely worthy of the number one pick. When he was playing Houston, he was just a problem. That's just, it's like you just looked at that guy, and maybe Houston, we beat them when we played them, but maybe Houston was up by 7 or 5, and you're just looking at this guy. It's like, man, he can go off for 10 in like a minute. You could just see it. He could do it. He could bring it to the hole. He could do the mid range. He could do the 3. He's just long, and he's just got kind of that symphony to his game. And so, yeah, I've been really impressed with him.
Yeah.
Definitely Friday night, watching him and Darren Peterson from the Utah Jazz, who was the number 2 pick. Darren's he's a little bit more of a, how do I say this? He's a bit more of like a street ball bucket getter. And he's young, but he's kind of got that unk game where it's just kind of awkward, but the ball goes in the hole. Ball goes in the hole a lot for him. He actually had a game in Utah where the Utah Jazz were playing in the Utah Summer League before they went to Vegas. He had 12 assists, which is, he averaged like 2.5 assists or not even 2 assists at Kansas. For the Jayhawks, he was asked not to be a point guard. There at Kansas, they had Melvin Gordon, and so he's been showing some things that he did not show at Kansas. So he's been looking pretty good. I think he's going to be a little bit more this was the way it was in college too. I think he's going to be a little bit more inconsistent than AJ is. I think he's going to have to grow into things a little bit, but he is a natural scorer. I think that's the number one thing you can think about Darren Peterson there. And let's see, another guy I've been keeping an eye on. Houston played all these guys. Darius Acuff. He's plays for the Sacramento Kings now, but we played Arkansas last year in a neutral site game. We beat them, but he's a lot like AJ, where you just have to worry about him. Like he's just a bucket, and so he's averaging 23.5 points per game during the California Classic. Just a kind of a high volume offensive threat. Field goal percentage is down a little bit, but again, I don't think that's the number one stat we should be looking at. And yeah, he's a scorer. So, I mean, it's nothing we don't know. This 2026 class is special. It's going to be the most special class that we've had in a while. And so being able to watch the summer league and kind of watch these guys do their thing, and you got to keep in mind too, there's a lot of G League guys and stuff. They want to show these guys up, and so it is competitive, and it's really fun to watch, especially if you have a certain person you're trying to keep an eye on. I will say this: they often play like AJ DeBonsa, right? He goes in, he plays a game, he scores 25 points. These rosters are larger than traditional NBA rosters, and so they'll pull him. Like they might not play him, they might not play him a lot of minutes, that kind of thing, because they're not trying to win. I mean, they're really not. They're just trying to kind of showcase, and so yeah, it's been really good. Anything from that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, no, just really just can look for some fun basketball. I think it's really fun to watch. And I think one of some of your points that you brought up about just finding they want to fill a roster too, right? Some of these teams, especially with their cap space and stuff like that, so they want to find some players, some grit players, playing defense and rebounding, and so no, it's pretty exciting because they definitely come in with chips on their shoulders and trying to prove it, right? So I really enjoy watching the summer league.
And so we'll kind of wrap up this segment with did you watch? You probably didn't, but did you watch the Celtics and Raptors last night on Big ESPN? It was on the actual ESPN. They played at 9 p.m. Eastern. Did you catch that game?
I did not. Not.
Okay, all right. Well, here we go. So this is why you should watch Summer League right here. Okay, so both teams played terrible. First of all, I think they both shot like 20% field goal percentage the whole game. So it was just an ugly game. But Milos Uzan and Chris Senack, who were both starters on the Houston Cougars last year, and I was so proud of my Boston Celtics because they started out, Martin, they weren't neither of them started. So I was like, oh man, they're going to do this to me. Like they're not even going to play them. Like it is funny when you turn to these games. Sometimes your favorite player doesn't even play. But then I love the Celtics. They put them both in with like 4 minutes left in the first quarter at the same time. So you had Milos Uzan, who was the point guard, playing with his power forward of the Sweet 16 this year, Houston Cougars, and they were just on the floor, and they kept him in. They kept rotating them in together. I'm like, let's go! And you could tell, like Milos was totally deferring to Senack. Like, I mean, he was just ignoring everyone else on the floor.
Yeah, the chemistry, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And there was this one time too where they were like both going for they both got in the great spot to get the defensive rebound, and it was like, oh yeah, same team. It's like just that Houston Cougar rebounding tenacity, but it got even better. It was about midnight, and I was actually going to the airport later to pick up my wife Kelly from a work trip, and so I had to stay up, and I'm sitting there watching the game, and we get within 3. The Celtics get within 3 of the Raptors. They were down the whole game, and they just start chucking up the 3, right? And it's just ugly summer league ball, so it's like it's just rec league out there, and I think they threw up like 2 threes and bricked them. And then all of a sudden, Uzan gets the ball, and you think Uzan's going to take the 3, and the whole team collapses on him. I mean, everyone's just running after him. There's like 1 second left. And Uzan does this no-look pass to Senack for the 3, not at the buzzer. There were 0.7 seconds left, but the 3, swish. And they the Celtics tie it up They're acting like they won the championship. Brad Stevens was there. Jason Tatum was there. Derek White was there, like in the building at Cox Pavilion, and they're all jumping up and down. And they have 2-minute overtimes because they don't care, and they
That's
won the game.
hilarious.
So I was like, and then my dad came over at midnight to sit with the kids while I went and picked up Kelly from the airport, and I'm like, dude, watch this. So I put on TV, I paused. I'm like, look, that's Milo Suzanne, that's Chris Senac, and watch this. So the assist from Milos is awesome. So go check it out on YouTube, guys. I'm like, that's
Nice.
Summer League. That's why we watch Summer League.
Yeah.
Well, anything else before we wrap it up?
No, okay.
Awesome. Well, this episode is sponsored by All Too Traveled. If you're dreaming about your next getaway, don't forget to follow All Too Traveled on TikTok. From cruise advice to destination ideas and practical travel tips, it's a great follow for anyone with a little blank space. That's All Too Traveled on TikTok. ALLTOO Traveled on TikTok. Really great short videos there. And we also have Father Figure Coaching. Thank you to Father Figure Coaching for being a sponsor. Father Figure Coaching with Bill Ellis exists to help dads lead with purpose. Whether you're a new father figure or you've been raising kids for years, Bill offers practical encouragement to help you become the dad your family needs. For more information, go to billellis.coach. That's BILLELLIS.coach. All right, so our faith topic this episode 3, is called Being Present. And so I'm going to start with a story. So I got invited to a birthday party. One of my friends, been a friend of mine for several years. And we're driving over to his house, and our kids know each other and all that kind of thing. And it was last Friday, and it was during the Argentina and Cabo Verde game. And so, and we'll talk about this a little bit, every Argentina game has been a banger so far. I mean, it's like they don't start trying until they're down 2 or something. And like, it's just, they're great, right? Like they're playing Switzerland tonight. Like that is every time Argentina's playing, you got to watch it.
Yeah.
Not just because Messi is like the Michael Jordan of Florida, but, anyway, so I'm sitting there listening to the game. It's a great game. I think it was like 1-1 at the time, something like that. And I started thinking, like, man, like what if I go in there, Martin, and they're not playing the game? Like what if? Because like the wife, she organized the birthday party. She probably doesn't know that what's going on, and that the whole world is watching this game, and we need to watch this game. It's very important. And so I'm just worried about it. I'm just like, man. And so I have my headphones like I have, and I'm ready to kind of multitask if I have to and have the game in my ear. But I was so happy, Martin. Like I went in, and there it was on the big screen. Everybody was watching it. Like, yes.
Prayers answered.
Yes. They understand the sports. They have the game on. We're okay. But that really got me thinking about my life. And there are times in my life where that has not happened. So our scripture this week comes from Philippians chapter 2, verses 3-4. It says, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but rather in humility value others above yourselves." So the question I'll ask you here is, you're going into a birthday party, or it could be a church event, whatever, and it's during a big game, and there's a situation where you're going to miss the big game. What are kind of your feelings on that?
Man, that's a tough one, man. Because I mean, I'll be honest. Like, there's been times where like I'm in Sunday service and I'm like, checking Premier League score games and stuff like that, right? So it's I'm not gonna lie, it's a struggle, right? And I know that. It's one of those things where it's like that self-denial, right? So you got to put, others before yourself, and I think that, it's hard. It's hard sometimes because it can be an idol, right? It can be an idol if we let it be, right? So yeah, I think it's just setting up that boundaries. But then on the other hand, it's like this is like I just don't understand sometimes not non-sports fans, right? Like I don't even know like how do they exist, right? Like how does a non-sports fan exist? Sometimes I'm like thinking that, right? But I'm like, oh no, but it's like I get it, right? So I mean, some people are like, hey, I used to play fantasy football and I was addicted to it, right? So I think but I stopped playing, I stopped watching football, right? Because I was addicted to doing that, right? It became my idol. So it's one of those things, right, where it's just like, man, it's putting others before yourself, and really setting it up that way. But it's definitely not easy. Definitely not easy.
Yeah, and something that I'm always trying to incorporate into my kids is that that the one thing that we really try to value is relationships. When Jesus says, the greatest commandment is to love God with all your with all your soul, heart, mind, and strength, and then the second is like it, love your neighbor as yourself.
Hmm.
And so
Hmm.
I really try to teach the kids, when we come up with a conundrum and that kind of thing, that we're really trying to value relationships and that we prioritize relationships, that we keep, whatever conflict we're in or whatever, that we do what we can to keep the relationship strong. And I remember another story, and this really helps me relate to you, Martin, and what you were talking about of becoming an idol. It was March Madness, and we were going over. This is before we had kids. We were going over to another married couple's house to eat dinner, and it was Duke and Texas, which are neither of are my favorites. I don't like either of those teams at all. Uh, I don't know, and I think it was during. It was a while ago, so I think it was during Kevin Durant, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, Kevin Durant was must see TV during
Yeah. Yeah.
during his senior year there. And so I was just like, man, I hope I liked Kevin Durant. I was like, oh, I hope Kevin Durant can beat Duke. And so I don't know, but I just put so much into this game, and it wasn't Houston. It wasn't one of my favorite teams, but I brought my cell phone over. I knew they weren't going to play the game. These people were. I will use the term. I mean, they were anti-sports. I mean, they were just, why does Dan watch sports so much? Why? What's his problem? He's addicted to sports, and so it just didn't go well. It didn't go well with me having the cell phone out during dinner, and I put it up like on a little stand and tried to multitask and tried to be in the moment with the dinner with our friends. But I mean, I got called out on it even during during the dinner. I mean, were good friends of ours, and and it really did though make me kind of like you did. We talked about the NFL before. It really made me kind of prioritize a little bit,
Hmm.
like, okay, like I in that case, like I hurt the friendship, right? And someone is voicing to me like, hey, you're into this stuff a little bit too much. And so that really has stuck with me, where it is a balance. It's a balance of, yes, there are sports on, there's always sports on, but we have to be present, like we have to be where we are, and giving. And yeah, it is a balance, and I think really, looking back, I wish I didn't do that. Like I wish I had just said, you know what, I'll watch it on DVR when I get home, which drives me crazy, right? I'm a live sports guy. I think sports
I was
fans really
I was
play that way.
I was gonna ask you that. I was gonna ask you that. Are you a
Oh,
record, like do you record stuff and watch it later,
no,
or does it
no,
have to be live? Yeah, I don't
well, I
understand
don't
like
understand
sports
that.
fans that do that, right? But I will tell you that it's actually there with like YouTube and like doing highlights. Like I like that. I like doing that better, right? Because you can watch extended highlights of a game, and that helped. That's helped with like big games that I missed, right?
Okay,
Because of things. So that's helped a lot. Because yeah, I cannot watch the whole game and fast forward and all this other stuff. It just doesn't vibe with me, right? So like I'll know the score because I'm not gonna like wait to watch the game until I look at my phone, right? I'm not that guy, right? So I'll look at the score or whatever, and then I'll be like, all right, cool. Like I'll watch the highlights, right? Because I care not just about the end score, but I care about like how did they play, right? Like, how did they play? Let me see some of the highlights. Let me see their, so I like that part of it. So I think YouTube has definitely helped with with the situation, right? Of not being able to watch a game and being able to go back and watch it.
Yeah, I don't think I'm there yet. And I know there are sports fans out there. I wouldn't say it's the majority, but I know there are sports fans out there that they maybe some of them live in Europe, right? And they love the NFL. Like they kind of have to do this. You're not going to wake up at 2 a.m. every Sunday. So, if you guys have some ideas about that, put it in the comments or put it on our email, highercallpod@gmail.com. Let us know, kind of your ideas and feelings about the whole sports recording thing, and going back and watching the highlights, and how you kind of rationalize that, because I think that's an interesting perspective, and I think you are right. There's even things on YouTube like with college football and NFL where it'll be like, hey, watch a game in 20 minutes, and where they're cutting out all the huddles and commercials and that kind of thing. So yeah, I think that's a valid idea. One thing that, kind of something else that happened too was, we'll get into the World Cup later, but the USA Belgium game. I had a moment where, I was visiting family last week, and so I was visiting my extended family, my cousin, my aunt and uncle, and I wanted to obviously watch the USA Belgium game. This is huge, right? And so I communicated it with my dad and my family members, like, hey, 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock Eastern, I want to watch my game, right? But I didn't communicate it well enough with Kelly, my wife, and so there was some conflict. That was my fault, in that, where we were in the car, the game was on, and the family wanted to kind of go some places, and I was like, man, like I want to be home and watch. And then, just to make it worse, right, Belgium scores like 7 minutes in, so like my mood just gets terrible. And really looking back on it, it's just, I should have communicated better. And Kelly and I even had a conversation about it later, and she's like, look, I understand that was a big game, right? She's like, I understand that. Just communicate, right? Just say, hey, I want to be home. I want to be home at 8, and I wasn't. I wasn't communicating. I was just brooding, right, like under my breath or whatever. Because there's that conflict. There's that conflict where it's like, I should be here with my family. I should, value this over the game, but I'm just not. And so it's just an internal conflict, And so yeah.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. Yeah, I mean, there was I worked for DirecTV back in the day, and part of their benefit packages was to you get all the sports packages.
I remember that. Yeah,
I had the Sunday ticket.
Yep.
And man, it was a challenge because my wife's not a sports fan at all, right? She's not a sports fan at all. So it was like Sunday, I'm like, hey, let's go watch games, and she's like, hey, we want to do stuff with the family, right? Let's do something with the family. It's the weekend, right? So it's like, but there are all these games on, right? And so it definitely became an idol in my life at that point, and I was like, yeah, like I gotta self-deny and love my family and my wife, so definitely this definitely hits home with especially if your spouse is not a sports fan. So.
Yeah, and down the line, I actually do want to have Kelly on the pod, and just being married to a sports fan Christian. Go, just talk.
I'll pay for that one. I'll pay you for that.
But yeah, it is funny though. Like, like I said, she's not, against me liking sports. I think there is a part of her that sees value in it. It is really the way that men relate to each other. I feel like it is the number one. If I am sitting in a room with like my friend's kid and we're on a play date or something, and they're on a play date off doing whatever kids do, and it's like, hey, do you watch sports? Like, it just goes so much easier, like trying to get to know someone if they watch sports.
100%. Yeah, no, I have a visitor coming that's been coming to our Bible talk. I have a friend that's coming over to watch the games, right? So
Yeah,
he's been visiting our church and stuff. So I'm excited for that. So he's probably
that is exciting.
I think I even sent him this podcast. So what's up Ben? I'll call you out. So we'll watch
Nice, nice.
games today.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah.
That's great, man. That's great. Yeah, it does bring people together. It's so funny though, and that's really why we're doing this podcast. It's like it can be a blessing, it can be a curse, right? And
Yeah.
we want it to be a blessing more than a curse. I don't think you're ever gonna get out of I
Yeah.
gotta get out of some struggles, but yeah. And then the other thing I was gonna share about too, if you want to take it, is do you want to tell them the Guatemala NBA playoff story?
Oh my gosh. So yeah, so was it last year? Well, last year we were
Yeah,
in Guatemala. It was NBA playoffs. I even forget the team. I even forget the team that
Indiana was one of them,
Indiana. Okay, yeah.
and they
So
won, I guess.
yeah, so there was we were looking for the game and we were like, yeah, I mean, this is a pretty hip part of town, bunch of restaurants and, bars. We'll go, the girls were doing whatever and we were walking around
Shopping,
looking for the game. Yeah, shopping, yeah. And we were looking for the game and we're in Guatemala. We're like, yeah, I mean, they like NBA here, right? I mean, so we're walking around. We went into every single restaurant and we were looking for the game, and this is how important soccer or football is in Latin America. So like the national team or the country's teams, the leagues, they were playing, and but the whole families were sitting down there watching the game. So we're not going to be the Americans going in there as, hey, can you put on NBA playoffs for us? So we went in so many restaurants, and we were like, I think we ended up watching it on our phone or something. I'm like, I got it,
yeah,
Dad, I got it. I'm streaming it here. Let's watch it.
yeah, yeah. And in that situation, both of our wives were very cool
Yeah,
because we communicated. I think we did. We communicated. We're like, hey, we want to watch
yeah,
this game.
yeah.
I think it was the Rockets. I think it was like a game
Rocket.
seven.
I remember the Rockets. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Indiana
forget who they
Rockets.
were playing, but yeah,
Yeah,
but no. And then I mean, you're not gonna. You're a visitor in their country, right? You're not gonna ask them to change the
right,
channel, to put the game on. Can you put the game on?
right,
Right?
right.
Yeah. So
Many adventures, my friend. One of our
yes,
many
yes,
adventures.
yes, yes.
Well, shout out to our sponsors, All Too Traveled, over on TikTok, and also Father Figure Coaching with Coach Bill Ellis. So check out All Too Traveled on TikTok, and also check out BillEllis.coach if you would like to learn about Bill Ellis's coaching ventures. All right, so let's go to World Cup corner. So,
Yeah.
depending on our timing, this might be one of our last ones. Well, we'll wrap it up, of course. And I will say this too: we will do a full segment later. Not this time, but we'll do a full segment later of the U.S. Right, like
Yeah.
program wise, like what do we need to get where we want to get. Um, to get to the semis, to get to the final, like what do we need as U.S. soccer? So we will talk about that in a future episode. I want to see kind of how the World Cup ends and kind of get our thoughts together there with that. But the floor is yours, Martin. What have you been seeing kind of in the World Cup? I was look kind of at a recap here the last couple of days.
Yeah, yeah. I think the England Mexico game was an amazing game. Mexico had all the chances. Yeah, I mean they were just England was just really organized, even though they got that red card, which was kind of questionable, but it is what it is. But but yeah, no, I think it was it's been really entertaining. The Mexico game, the Argentina, Cape Verde game was, oh my gosh, that was an amazing game. Me and my boys
Yeah,
were watching that together, and yeah, it was great. Yeah, no, what else? Portugal. Sad to see Ronaldo go out. I think he played. I think he had a great World Cup. So yeah, yeah, it's just been some great games. I think it's kind of all lining up the way we kind of thought with the big boys. We obviously have two games to play here for the semis. We still got England, Norway, and then Switzerland and Argentina. And I think Switzerland's a dark horse too, man. I think we might have a similar game where Argentina kind of pulls it out at the end. But we'll see. I'm really excited about it. Spain and France is going to be a banger. That should be great. But it's been awesome to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the games have been really close. There's some of them have ended in penalty shootouts. Some of them have ended in extra time. It's been really good, and it's even though the U.S. got knocked out, I feel like the momentum is still there, and we'll see how the semifinals go. I mean, so far it really is very chalky that France and Spain are in the semis, and so like Macho Man said, the cream rises to the top. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So we'll see if anyone can squeeze in there in the semis. But yeah, it's really been really good games. We can go to the actual kind of Belgium game with the
Yeah.
U.S. I did hear a shout out to the final whistle with Beard from Ted Lasso. Uh, the real life actor does a podcast, and man, I mean, he was distraught. I mean, he was just like the
Yeah.
U.S. got embarrassed. Like, I mean, it was really like very skies falling. I don't personally see it that way.
Yeah.
There were some things in the match that kind of didn't go our way, and I mean, but how did you kind of see that game?
Yeah, I mean the first half was great. I mean that free kick to tie it,
Yeah,
that was awesome. I was like, okay, like the U.S. got punched in the face and they're punching back, and that was great to see. And I thought they were going to score again. They had a couple opportunities in that first half before the end of the first half to kind of to level it up, but I mean, yeah, it just the second half was really disappointing. It just sucks for them to go out that way. I feel like because I feel like they have made progress. But I mean, for them to go out like that, just really it kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth a little bit, just because people are only going to see that, right? They're only going to see how they went out, which I know they've grown, but they just don't have depth, to be honest with you, right? They don't have depth. I mean, the Belgium brought on their B squad, and their B squad could be US's A squad, right? So
yeah,
it's just the depth part of it. So I think that part of it. I think we're on the right track. I hope they keep Puccintino in there. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, it just sucks. I mean, that sucks with the goalie's mistake on that
yeah,
side of it. It's mental, right? I mean, those are just mental mistakes, right? Which sucks. That it sucks because that's what people are going to remember how they went out, right? So, but yeah,
yeah, absolutely. I saw it a little bit differently. I was worried. I felt like they had it in our third at the beginning of the game a lot,
hmm
and I kind of saw it where it was like, okay, we're outclassed. I mean, it just the goalie made a huge save kind of at the beginning. I think he made two of them, and it's just like, man. And then when we tied it 1-1, I think that brought such great hope, right?
yeah,
And then like they just it was like they were just toying with us. They just, you took the lead. Okay, okay, well, guys, we got to score. Okay, yeah, that'll take about 2 minutes. Okay, I mean, it's just whatever. So yeah, and I did want to see how Belgium did
hmm
in the rest of the tournament.
yeah,
I thought they did play well. I know they lost yesterday to Spain, but I thought they did play really well,
yeah,
and they came back. They tied it. Spain won it right before they were about to go to stoppage time. But I do think Belgium, obviously is a very top 10 team in FIFA. They made it to the top 8, and they're deserving of that. So
yeah,
they're a good team. They're a
yeah,
good team,
yeah,
and it's just
yeah.
kind of how the bracket breaks out. So yeah. Anything else recap wise before we get into your expert predictions?
Um, No, I think that's it. I really loved that Mexico game though. It was pretty
Yeah.
intense, man. The whole atmosphere, man. What it would be to watch that game live, man, with everything. Harry Kane at the end losing his voice. Jordan Henderson jumping over and breaking his arm or whatever over the thing. It was just like, oh my God. Oh man, it was that I thought that was a really entertaining game. That was probably one of
Yeah.
the best games out of the tournament, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I was proud of Mexico too. They've had some issues in the past. The team
Oh
lost
yeah,
with class, and Stadium Azteca behaved itself, and so so
yeah,
yeah, so proud. Really, Mexico should hang their heads high. I think out of everyone, they showed the best in the round of 16 as far as the
oh
hosts.
yeah,
When you look at Canada, the U.S., and Mexico, they Mexico looked like oh, that one could have gone either way, right? And
yeah,
so yeah, thumbs up to Mexico there. Great job. And Stadium Azteca, I mean, it did even a loss. It really
yeah.
it's just one of the toughest stadiums to play in, and anytime, even when the MLS goes in there to play a club team, it's just yeah, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, yeah.
um, but yeah, awesome. Well, we're going to go into a little predictions here, and so Martin, though, you're getting shout outs from our audience. So I'm getting text messages about you said that Cape Verde and Argentina was going to be a banger, and someone texted me like, "Man, your friend was spot on. Like every word he said came true." So I don't know if we're dealing with like a prophecy situation here, like
Oh, I
whether we
got some
should.
wrong. I got some wrong. I think yeah, I got some wrong. You can tell me which ones I got wrong. So.
Um, then you got another one too. I forget which one it was. Oh yeah, yeah. You called Brazil's loss. You called
Oh
Norway and
yeah, yeah,
Brazil.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I wanted Japan to beat them, and then but they did it. So
Yeah,
yeah.
but that's a good. Yeah, so like I got text messages about that too. Like, hey man, your friend was right about Norway and Brazil. So, there are people with their thumbs ready in Florida on Hard Rock bets that are ready for these predictions, Martin. So I hope you've done your research, or you haven't, and you're just getting
Polymarket.
lucky.
Go on
So
Polymarket.
yeah, it's time for Martin's prophecy, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so are you ready, Martin? No
Yeah, yeah.
pressure.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
No pressure, but the audience is listening.
Yeah,
Okay. Here we go. What do you got? Norway, England.
yeah. Oh gosh, man. I think that I really want Norway to shock the world, but I think they will go out. I think the game in Mexico with England really brought them together. Bellingham, he's the man, dude. He's the man. I gained so much respect from Bellingham watching that game. I'm gonna go with England, and I'm gonna go 3-2, three
Okay.
two, England.
All right. Nice. And Argentina, Switzerland.
Mm. I think it's going to be another game like we've seen Argentina play. Switzerland's no joke. They're flying under the radar, um, and I think that Switzerland's going to shock and beat Argentina.
All right.
Yeah,
All right. Oh,
yeah, and
oh, Switzerland. Okay.
this will go extra time. This one's going to go extra time, and Switzerland's going to score in extra time. No PKs.
Okay. If this happens, then we are going to knight you, Prophet, if Switzerland beats Argentina. Like, and there's gonna be a lot of mad people here in Orlando. Woo! There's gonna be like some mourning. All right, well let's go. Let's go to the first semifinal here, and then we'll get your champ. So this one is going to be a banger. Everyone's looking forward to this. Look, Spain has played really good defense. They've hardly conceded any goals. They shut out Portugal, and then you have France, right? But Mbappe's got a little injury thing going on. He's got a little ankle. So, but Mbappe, whew, man, that guy's angles, like he just puts it in the side of the net. It's
Yeah.
crazy some of the shots he's made. Who you got between France and Spain?
Yeah, no, France is going to win, man. I mean,
Okay.
France is going to win. Doesn't matter. They have the three best players in the world, with Dembele and Mbappe, and I think that they're gonna win. I mean, they can't be stopped, man. They're too good. They're too good.
Okay, I'm going to make things interesting. Based on Mbappe's injury, and he had a penalty miss yesterday, I'm going to take. I'm switching. I'm going to take Spain. I think Spain's defense is able to frustrate teams. I think they're able to. I think they're going to be able to frustrate France. So I'm going to go with who I picked at the beginning of the World Cup, even though I changed over to France. And my champ is now Spain. I think Spain's going to take them. All right. So that wraps us all up. We will see what happens in the World Cup. But yeah, thank you so much for listening, folks. We really appreciate it. Coming up in the future, we're actually going to start doing some NFL previews. Our idea is we're going to have 8 shows for 8 divisions. We're going to have a segment where we preview a division, and so be looking for that. It's going to be really good. But that's kind of where we're going next as we close out the World Cup and close out kind of the sports calendar here and get ready for football in less than 4 weeks, Martin. Teams will take the field. I don't know who, but teams will take the field in Canton, Ohio and play meaningless preseason football that more people will watch than the NBA or whatever.
Poor baseball, man. Poor baseball. Baseball's not going to get any love or what? I mean, are we going to talk about the Savannah Bananas, or is that what we're going to talk about?
Sure. I don't know. If you want to, yeah, we're into it. Let us know if you want us to talk about baseball or the Savannah Bananas. But yeah, the Red Sox are on a winning streak. I gave them a shout out. How are the Dodgers doing? I don't know.
Oh, their Dodgers are. Yeah, we're gonna win again, man.
Okay. Well, the Red Sox are just trying to make the playoffs with their young team, but yeah, they're on a 7-game winning streak, and so we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's so easy to make the wild card in the AL, so hopefully the Red Sox can pull that out. But they're an entertaining team to watch, you know. And so they're actually fun to watch, even though they lose a lot. But yeah, go Sox and go Dodgers for you. Okay.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up today, remember this: whether you're playing, coaching, cheering, or even officiating, every person on that field is made in the image of God. Yes, even the referees, even the bad ones. One more shout out to our sponsors, All Too Traveled on TikTok and Father Figure Coaching with Bill Ellis, for supporting our podcast. If you enjoyed today's conversation, we'd really appreciate it if you'd like, subscribe, leave a review, and share the podcast with another sports fan. And we would love to hear from you. Still looking for some guest co-hosts. We have some lined up, but if you guys want to be on the Higher Call, now's your chance. HigherCallPod@gmail.com. We'll also take your questions, topic ideas, hot takes, or just to connect with other like-minded sports fans. If you want to go watch a sporting event with some Christians and have one beer, please come. Please email us, and we'll find you some people to do that with wherever you're at. But until next time, keep your eyes on the game, keep your heart on God, and thanks for listening to the Higher Call.